Welcome to Date Yourself, the podcast. I'm your host, Amber, and no matter if you're married or single, I think the world would be a better place if we all dated ourselves. During this podcast, we discuss being unapologetically yourself, ditching the bullshit, and tuning into more peace by making joy a choice. Through listening to this podcast, you might create a lifelong glow up, just saying. It's time you start appreciating yourself more and date yourself. Hi, my loves. Welcome to another episode. I'm really excited to be talking about shapeshifting, your goals for 2024, and manifesting, and most of all, how to trust yourself and life a little bit more, which is super hard, I know, especially with what is going on in the world right now. But I want to teach you my ways to really sink into knowing what is right, sticking with it, and manifesting your dreams, your desires. I personally believe that manifestation is a lifestyle. And this is because when you decide on what it is that you want, you also take accountability for the person that you need to become in order to get what it is that you want. So it's about how much faith do you have in yourself to get what it is that you want. And the more that you believe, the more that you will be able to manifest. And I love this process because it's basically just stretching you to become more confident, to try out more new things, and to really go for what feels the most amazing to you, like what lights you up, and step out of your comfort zone. But here's the thing. Do you feel like you can ask for what it is that you want? Are you met with resistance of, yeah, but that's not realistic, or no, I cannot ask for that because that makes me selfish? So the first step in shapeshifting yourself into your dream self for 2024, and always, is to ask for what it is that you want. To give yourself permission to want things and to let it become really good. And if you can do that, if you can decide that it gets to be amazing, you get to have your dream life, then there are so many more doors opening for you and you're going to see more possibilities. And this is because you are now allowing yourself to think outside of maybe the box that you were put in. So maybe before you didn't really dream big and you accepted life the way that it was. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that you can be pretty happy doing that. But the moment that you really feel into what it is that you desire, what would really light you up, what would expand your life, that is the moment where you can really feel like, oh, I'm so much more. And I would love to experience more and do this and do that. And I think that that makes life really interesting, really fun. And I personally believe that we are here just to learn and to play. And so I'm always kind of, on one hand, I'm really loving where I'm at right now, but I'm also constantly feeling within my body, like, what is it that I need? And what would I really like to do? And also, while going through my days, noticing what lights me up. Because if we're not paying attention to what we really like, we're not going to know. And so that also becomes really hard to ask. And so my first question of this episode is, what if everything you asked for was possible to get? Everything. Like, whatever the fuck you want, what if it's possible for you to get it? You just ask for it and it can happen. So it's really interesting to notice what happens. First up, you might be like, oh my God, that would be amazing. And then the second thought might be, yeah, but that's not realistic. And so remember what I said before, like if you think that it's not possible to get what it is that you want and you're selfish for asking it, you're not going to get it because you will be closed off to the opportunities. And so what happens if we do believe that all of this is possible, you're opening yourself up to those possibilities. But that seems like a lot of work, right? It doesn't have to be that way. But remember, I said, I personally believe that manifesting is a way of living. Because if you really want something, you can grow into the person who has that. That is the work. But that can be really fun, right? And so that is why I really love this topic. Because if you choose to be certain about what it is that you want. You're kind of claiming it and asking the universe for it. And you start to notice these little signs and synchronicities of how you may become that person. And I believe that the universe is helping us to do this. I usually, when I like set an intention or I ask for something that I want, the next steps are automatically presented to me. And I will give you some examples of how this works later. It's not about controlling, it's about picking up on your intuition, where you are led and what really lights you up, and then letting the universe also help you. That might sound really vague, but I'm going to give you some juicy examples. And so I want to grant you permission right now that if you're not feeling like you can ask for what it is that you want, that you are so worthy to ask for what it is that you want, right? I think that we are here to experience the most beautiful life. And so I want you to experience that. And the only way that you are really going to experience that is if you are going to decide on what it is that you want. If you're just like, I'm not sure, I don't really know, like I kind of want it, but I don't really. And like, I don't know if I'm worthy of it. And that's just going to keep you stuck there, right? And it's okay to not know what it is that you want. But like I said in the beginning, your body is your compass. If you're not aware of what it is that you like, if you're not tuned into you, you're not going to know. And so listen to your body, to how it resonates with certain things, and to feel like what lights you up. Those are going to be those clues. And if you allow yourself to want things and to ask for them and to get comfortable with that feeling of, I get to have a beautiful life. That is a mindset as well. That is going to bring you towards your manifestation. That's the first step. If you're not allowing yourself to even ask, you're going to kind of stay stuck in this middle ground where maybe good things happen to you, but you're kind of letting life decide for you instead of you placing your order with the universe, like your grocery list, like I would like this. And I promise you, when you start to do that, when you just tell the universe, this is what I want, see what happens. I'm going to give you examples. So these examples that I'm going to give you are of recent things that happened in my life. And they also go with the second thing that I think is really important with manifestation, is to not force, but let flow into your life. What I mean by this is sometimes we can be really clear on what it is that we want. We're not like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We have like really decided that this is what we want, and then it still goes differently. I love that. I'm not loving it in the moment, but I've come to see a pattern over time. Like I've been manifesting for 6 years now, like consciously knowing how this stuff works, and I've kind of seen this pattern. So when I declare that I want something, I always state out that I want that or something even better. Usually what happens is that what I think that I need and want is not necessarily what I need. And so you'll see that you can get the manifestation, but the universe kind of has a different plan for you. So for example, I wanted to go to Greece with my mom this summer, like late September. And then there were just a few things that made that trip not possible, including like my grandpa getting sick and there being like nature disaster things happening to where we were wanting to go, to Thessaloniki. So that was really sad, but like we wanted to stay home for my grandpa, right? And yeah, it was just not the right timing. And so we kind of like put off booking the tickets, and so there were already like signs like this is not going to probably be the best thing. And then we heard that my grandpa got sick, and then we heard about the nature disaster things in that area where we wanted to stay. And so that is where the universe is like, nah, I have a better plan for you. And so I did not know where I was going to go on vacation. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not sure, but I still like want this. And so I believe that there will be happening something and I will figure it out. Like there will be an opportunity, and otherwise, like, I don't know, I'll figure it out, right? So I'm still open and I'm still declaring what it is that I want. I haven't given up, because I know that usually this means that there's something better on the other side. So that's trust, right? trusting yourself. And so I got later, like 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from a friend of mine and we were chatting. She just moved to Sweden. I don't know if you've listened to the previous episode because that's about that whole trip, but my friend had immigrated to Sweden and she invited me to stay over at this cottage that she and her family built. And so I was like, yes, of course I'll come like visit you. And we did like a women's circle together, and we have some amazing plans of working together on other things as well in the future, business-wise. So that is amazing. I'm really looking forward to working with her. And so that trip was way better than I could have imagined. Like, sorry, mom, I'm still going to go to Greece with my mom, but on another, I'm not sure when. I'm just setting the intention that that will happen in the best way as well. And so that's example number one. And so I also have some examples of needing some money. And I think that that is like one of the things that most of us want more of, right? If we think about manifesting money is always a good idea. And so I recently had a moment where I was like, I could use a little bit more. And so my friend that I just talked about, Marloes, also asked me to design her website. And there was also someone else who wanted me to redesign their website. And so I'm now just having a little bit of extra work designing websites for some people. So, and I love that kind of thing, like branding and designing. And so I guess I'm now a website designer. I'm not sure. I don't know how that happened, but I love it. And so if you need a website, guys, I'm available. So that's kind of how I feel like the universe can give you what it is that you want. And I could not have thought of those things. And that is where like the second most important thing comes in, is the flow, not controlling. I could still have gone to Greece with my mom, but we would not have a great time because we would be worried about my grandpa, and like there were like mud streams there, so we might have like rebooked to go to another place. I don't know. It could still be great, but it wouldn't be as good as it could possibly be. And so not controlling, not forcing is going to help you attract what is meant for you. And like, for example, I just had kind of an issue with someone last week, and I was like trying to figure it out, like how we could resolve the conflict, and going like back and forth with myself, writing about it and having conversations about it, because I wanted to be clear on what I thought was most important. And then my mom also said, like, just let it go for a little bit. It will resolve itself. And that's exactly what happened. And so that is what I'm trying to say with, don't try to control it. You can just state out what it is that you want, and then it will resolve itself. If you allow the universe to do its job of the how, you are going to get something so much better. And this happens with a lot of stuff. I just gave you some examples, but I have so many more. And so trust that what you need is coming your way if you are sure about what it is that you want and you're open to new possibilities. For example, I might be going to live in Amsterdam for a little bit. That's not sure, but I was just thinking about like wanting to live in Amsterdam. I've kind of always wanted to live in Amsterdam, and I live pretty close by, and I love the city. A friend of mine already lives there. I stated out to the universe like, oh, I would really love to live in Amsterdam. And I also thought like it would be really fun if I lived with that friend of mine, right? And then like later she goes like, oh, you know what? My friend is going to travel, and you could stay with me for a few months in Amsterdam. I could not have thought of that, right? I could not have controlled that. And so what we usually do is we try to seek out how to make it happen. We make up all these problems in our mind that we need to solve. While meanwhile, there might not really be a problem, right? Because we are just kind of thinking about how it should happen. While there are so many ways in which it can happen. And so I want you to trust yourself more, trust life a little bit more, and let the flow happen. And it's also a little bit about surrendering that you know what is best for you, and to also not focus so much on what other people are asking of you, because they might say like, oh, but you really need to like do this, this, and this, and this, and have you thought of this, and like you should do it this way. But remember, that is their path, and you can feel within your body what is right for you. And you can try to control things and like make it happen, but maybe that's not the best way, right? So keep your mind open to multiple possibilities, and then like feel when you want to take action. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do, and then I just let it be for a little bit until it becomes clear. And it will become clear. Like you can also like manifest things becoming clear. I would just say to the universe like, yo, I really need some clarity on this. Can you give me some more information about it, or what am I missing? And then I'll like have a conversation with someone, and they will bring up something that I didn't think of before. Or like I will go on a walk, and then I just have this epiphany where I'm like, oh, that's why I'm feeling this way, right? Allow yourself the space to let it become more clear, and then take action when you feel like you're ready for it. And so what happens when you are starting to become more clear on what it is that you want? That also means that you have to step out of your comfort zone, right? And that is where the magic happens. Like when you go on that solo trip, when you decide that you want another job, when you decide that you really want to go out there and meet new people, like those are the moments where the transformation and the juiciness and the fun and the adventure really happens there. That's where we grow the most. And you need to allow those moments to happen. And again, like in your own timing, if it isn't clear yet, if that feels really good, wait a little bit longer. But when you feel like, yes, that like really lights me up, that makes me so excited, step out of your comfort zone, because that's going to teach you what is right for you and what isn't. For example, if you are not sure on what it is that you want, you can try multiple different things to feel within yourself like, oh, this resonates and this doesn't. Especially like with dating, for example. If you meet someone and there are like parts of them you really, really like, and then some like major red flags, you can be like, okay, wait. So this I really want in a partner, and this I don't. And so then when you go out there again, you can recognize like, oh, like they have all the things that I like, and they do it really differently than that person before me, right? Because you have this reference. And so that, like, this is just a silly example of dating, but you can apply this to multiple things. Like I've tried out many different jobs, and I've learned what I really enjoy doing and what makes me stay at a company. And that is really important if you want to keep yourself happy, right? And so don't be afraid to experiment with things, like within like what you are comfortable with, of course. What seems fun to you. You don't have to like do things that you don't want to do. That's absolutely not what this is about, right? Manifesting what you want. But that also means that you have to know what you don't want. And that is what you will figure out by doing it, right? To get yourself out of the comfort zone. Because if you don't, you're just going to stay where you are right now. And so becoming that person who already has what it is that you want is kind of our job. The universe will take care of the how you will receive your manifestation, right? To meet that person, or to get that job, or to get that money. That is not our job. Our job is just to feel comfortable about having that already. And that also means that you need to work on receiving, feeling good about having amazing things. If you feel like the other shoe is going to drop when you are experiencing good things, you might unconsciously push it away because you don't want things to go wrong after things are going really right. Can you imagine like what that feels like, right? That everything is just going so right, and you're just like, yeah, but this is too good to be true, right? And so unconsciously you're just going to try to protect yourself because you feel like something is going to go wrong. And that's exactly what happens, because what you focus on, you attract. So if you don't feel ready, there is a chance that you will sabotage this manifestation, this really good thing to come to you. So you want to make sure that you feel good enough, you feel worthy enough to have this and to be that person already. And this takes time. This takes also being aware of your thoughts and how you think about yourself and what you deserve in life. And I personally believe that we're all worthy already. Like, we have not stopped being worthy. That's just bullshit, right? If someone has made you feel like you're less worthy than someone else, that's such a lie. And maybe you know this, but maybe it doesn't feel true in your body. So if that's the case, or if you are just feeling pretty insecure around some dreams that you have, or you feel like the other shoe is going to drop if things are going to go so well, I have something special for you. I've created a bundle with my most high value EFT practice videos, also a beautiful workshop around feeling worthy, and a I Belong meditation. And I've had so much fun creating this bundle for you, because I feel like this is going to be the exact package of what you need to really hone in on that worthiness feeling, to know like where the pain point is of what has made you insecure or doubt your worth. We're going to rewrite that story, because mostly what we see is that we have picked up that belief in the past, right? But it doesn't mean that that belief always has to stay there. That's a beautiful thing about, for example, EFT. EFT tapping is a technique that I use to change my beliefs. And this is something that you can do with all kinds of beliefs around receiving money, around being worthy of love, and also about being worthy in general. So if this is something that you struggle with, the worthiness wound, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's now 50% off. So instead of 90, it's 45 euros, which is a pretty good deal if you ask me. I will link it in the show notes if you're interested in that. So if you are feeling really worthy and really excited about receiving this manifestation, the third step is to expect it and to also not worry about it anymore. And why wouldn't you worry about it anymore? Well, if you are worried about it coming true, that means that you're not trusting. That means that you don't trust that it's going to happen, which means that you're probably not there yet of really being this person who has it already. Because if you have it already, if you're like ready for it, you are fully trusting. You're just like, I don't really care if this happens or not. I'm just going to trust that the best thing is going to come to me. It's just going to happen in the best way possible. That is trust, right? So the art of manifestation is putting yourself in this place where you are fully trusting that the best thing is going to come to you. And this is a challenge because, like I said, like sometimes life just takes you on a detour that you are not really looking forward to. For example, I was really looking forward to going to Greece, and then I went to Sweden instead, right? And Sweden is pretty different, like Mediterranean versus like Scandinavia, but it was the best thing. Like I so needed that week in Sweden, and it was way more than what I could have asked for, that whole experience. If you want to listen to what I've experienced in Sweden, you can listen to episode 5. It's really juicy as well. It's about opening your heart and stuff. So fully trusting. This also means that you have to trust yourself, right? To know, and this is pretty easy because you are kind of your own leader. You can feel what resonates with you and you can feel what you don't want, right? And so if you just follow that voice of tuning into what it is that you need, giving it to yourself, and to commit to your vision, to not compromise, that is going to help you so much. So if you are willing to compromise on your vision of what it is that you want, that is also an option, right? Because maybe we are a little bit insecure if it's going to happen, and then this opportunity comes by and we're like, yeah, I kind of like some things about it, but it's not fully what I want, but I'll take it anyway, right? I personally believe that there is something better out there. And if you compromise, that, like, it's not bad to compromise because you'll learn something from it, right? But I believe that the universe wants the best for us, and so it will give us the best thing. So you will know within your body what that is, what is like really what you want and what isn't. And so if you compromise, you also don't fully trust. You're just like, I think that this is going to happen for me, but I don't fully trust that something better is going to come. So I'm just going to compromise. So that is also what will be reflected back to you. So that is what you will be able to receive. So if you are willing to receive more, you will see more opportunities because you have a broader lens of what you think is possible for you. So I hope that you're ready to make this list of what it is that you want and to get started with your vision for 2024, and maybe also like what you would like your week to look like, what you would like your month to look like, or what you would like your next like 5 years to look like, because we're always manifesting. So you can, and I want you to become more specific about how you want your life to look, to become intentional about how you want to feel. And so I just write down whatever it is that I want. And I'm just going to really feel like, is that a desire that I have, or is that something that I think I should have because other people have it? And you can feel this within your body, like what truly is a soul desire versus like a mind's desire. Or I make a vision board. And I love doing this because I'm a pretty visual person. And so I have my vision board right there. I can see it every day. So my subconscious kind of focuses on how I feel when I look at those images. Manifestation is not about the thing that you want, it's about how that thing will make you feel. And so if you are going to be writing out your desires, or you're going to pick out pictures of what you want your life to look like, as we do with vision board making, it really helps if you also write down the emotions that are coming up when you will receive that thing, right? If I want a beautiful Jeep, for example, like I would like a big Jeep, that would be pretty cool, I think. So that is my desire. You might despise like big cars like Jeeps, right? That's not your thing then. So for me personally, I think it would be really fun. So I would feel the feeling of fun. I would feel expansive because I have now a pretty cool vehicle that I can maybe go off-roading with, for example. So adventure is another thing that I would like to feel. Freedom as well. So it's more about those feelings than it is about like this picture of the Jeep, right? It's what will you experience if you have it? Why would you like those things? And so that is what is going to help you become that person who has that already. Because if you're going to focus on those feelings that you want to have, you can easily feel like, okay, I'm worthy of experiencing those things. And why not, right? Because of course I would want to have more freedom. And so you allow yourself to dream a little bit more, and you allow yourself to see the possibility of it if you know the reasoning and the emotions behind it. And this is the same if you want to make a vision board, which I would highly recommend. Like last year, I manifested like 90% of my vision board. If you are picking out these images, make sure that you feel really excited when you look at them, and not like, oh God, I'm not sure like if that is possible, or if this is really what I want, because then that is what you are attracting, right? Or it's not going to manifest. So look at images that make you feel like it's possible and you get really excited, and then hang it somewhere or place it somewhere where you will often see it. It doesn't mean like you have to stare at it for like 10 minutes every day. I don't do that. Last year, I just put it somewhere, didn't look at it anymore. And then 1 year later, I got back to it and I was like, wait a minute. I've manifested so many things on here and I did not even look at it. So it's more about being subconsciously aware of how those images make you feel, because if you are feeling it right now, what you focus on, you attract. So if you start to feel like how you would feel if you had it already, that is what you will attract. And that is the whole game of manifestation, to become that person already by becoming that person right now. So what is it that you need to do to become that dream version of yourself for 2024? What is it that they want? Write it out, declare it to the universe, and work on feeling worthy already, because you are so worthy of all the magical things that are going to come into your life, because I know that what you want wants you too, because I've experienced that many, many times in my own life. And so I wish you the best 2024. Don't forget to check out the Worthiness Bundle. I think you're really going to like it. It's now on sale. I'm not sure when the sale will end, so check it out when it's still on sale. I really hope that this podcast was helpful, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Speak to you soon.